Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, welcome back
Oh, we're
to
going?
the first time the Pickin' Pod.
Yeah, you can
Bam,
pick
bam,
your
bam,
friends.
bam.
You
Third
can
time's the
pick your
charm, baby.
nose. Please do not pick your friend's nose. But
Wait,
thank
say
you
it
for picking
again.
this pod. Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah, man. You gotta hold on. I'm turning up your output volume a little bit.
Okay, now I'm a little nervous now.
Nah, you gotta.
No, stop.
Hey, you've had
Stop.
2 practice runs of this that will never see the light of day because I messed up the audio.
Yeah. Okay. What are we doing?
All right,
How are we starting
so
this?
um, we have tried doing this a couple times before, and as I said, I screwed it up. So I'm Kenneth. I'm a Spurs fan. I got it from my dad, which of things to get from your dad, that's a pretty good thing. I've been a very spoiled fan just because my first season of watching basketball was the 2014 Spurs, and didn't do too much after that, and the Kawhi Zaza injury was traumatic enough that I stopped watching basketball for about 5 years.
Zaza is such a funny name.
It is, but also genuine like basketball criminal. Like he is genuinely the most responsible for Kawhi Leonard not necessarily becoming, potentially the scammer he is today. Well, not scammer, but like,
He set him down this path, is what you're saying?
I mean, he
Butterfly
did
effect.
objectively. Kawhi still got another ring out of it, but yeah, I'm in pretty good spirits right now, even though Wemby is injured because we have a really
How
really
long?
deep team. Couple weeks. He should be back early December.
Okay, because that might change some things in my rankings.
It might a
All
little
right.
bit in mine too. Which, by the way, so we're doing our East and West rankings today, and
Yes.
then that's
And
my
we're going to do
backstory.
both.
We got to go fast.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Shoot. Okay. My Raiders play at 4:05, by the way, so I'm hoping to get done by then.
You want to watch them play still?
They're playing the Browns.
Miles Garrett.
Max Crosby.
That's fair. You're gonna see Shadur get the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah. And that's why I'm watching it.
There's
And
some
also, my
entertainment value
roommate is
there.
a
I can't
Browns
deny
fan.
that.
All right. So I'm Morgan. I was. I started watching basketball around 2012. Back then, my favorite team was OKC. I really like Russell Westbrook. However, in 2016, KD ruined my 4th of July, and I could never go back to OKC after that. So I've been like hopping teams every now and then. So I went off to college. I became a Washington Wizards fan, especially because Rui was there. And anytime I see an Asian player, I support an Asian player. And then after the Wizards like completely collapsed, like every player got traded, I switched over to the Pelicans in around like I want to say 2021. And I've been a Pelicans fan since then. My confidence this year has been wavering. There was even one point where I was like, I'm going to choose a new team. However, with the 2 rookies I wanted out of the class, by the way, do you remember the conversations we had, Kenneth?
Hold on one sec. There you go. Did I hear you say what?
Do you remember the conversations we had about the draft before, like who we wanted out the draft?
I do. I do remember that. Hold on. I'm a klutz.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. Everything's fine. I had accidentally left the options for your thing open, so that's an oopsie on my part. So they just see the settings for that for a little bit, but yeah, I do remember you really did want Derek Queen. Like that was one of the people you wanted, and you really liked Jeremiah Fears already. The problem was
Yeah, because
front office BS, for lack of a better
like
word.
how we did it, when we did it, why we did it. But hopefully
Yeah.
we go in the future. There's a segment later that will get into that, how I think we can feed more into our young players. But as of right now, actually, especially after like the past few games, watching Derek Queen, seeing like he can fully be something in the league after people were in my ear all off season about how he's too slow. I'm ready to stick with him, and I want to see how we build into a new era. But I don't think it's going to be that easy, and I might be relocation. If they do relocate, I'm still going to be a fan of the team.
So this is just a thought I just had, but I feel like Derek Queen needs a specific type of power forward next to him, and I think that specific type of power forward is Jaren Jackson Jr. and absolutely not Zion.
Do you want to do that segment first?
Why don't we do that segment first, because that is quite topical, especially considering Ja managed to get himself back in the news by, punching down, as it were, in terms of at old multi-time injured Klay Thompson, and then getting just sent straight to the core of the earth with Klay's response. Just be like, I don't think you want to go there, man.
I saw that while I was eating McDonald's in my car on the way back before the pod. All right. And I tried to pick specific players that we know is really good, could be unhappy with the situation they are currently in. And I'm trying to ask, where would these people would look the best? Like, number one, where would you want these people the most? But also, number two, realistically speaking, where do you see them going? So the first player we can go with, because he was just mentioned, Ja Morant. We were talking a little bit before the pod. My personal pick is I want to see him in Dallas. Just because I think the bigs there, Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, will give Ja Morant what he needs, which is a screen and a roller. So we get that vertical threat once again. I said we as if I'm a Dallas fan. My dad's a Dallas fan.
Oh, that sucks.
But he's more of a Rockets fan, but that's from like when Hakeem was doing his stuff.
Yeah, which also just kind of proves that Dallas Mavericks like have no motion in terms of Texas rivalries, because you'd never say your dad was a San Antonio fan after being a Rockets fan. Like, that's just not compatible. But like I've been living in Dallas, and
put me in the 2011 Mavericks.
I mean, that's fair, but like I've been in Dallas, and I can say
was my first team I ever watched. And then 2012 OKC was my first ever favorite team.
Yeah. Dallas was my second favorite team while I've been here for a while. And then they traded Luka, and I was like, I don't want to watch this very not entertaining basketball, which would at least be more entertaining with Ja.
So I think Ja will bring the elements that made Luka essential to this team, as in a creator that can give a vertical threat either with himself or with the people around him. Yeah. And then hopefully Coop can make up for that scoring outside of it. So Ja would be like a backup punch, like a second-hand option, which I think would last really good. It's just, how will Ja take it? What will Ja do with it?
Yeah, the other thing is also like, and not on any like, some of his extracurriculars outside of basketball. Like that, there's definitely been too much commentary on that. But the thing I will say is just that kind of stuff in Texas is...
1 second. I want to put out my candle real quick. Why is that thing scaring me?
I don't know. Is it a wood
You can
wick?
keep going.
Doing that kind of stuff in Texas, especially in the public-facing way he was, is just not really a great idea. Just kind of at any point. Because it's like, you might be fine if you're doing that stuff in Dallas, but if you drive over to Tarrant County and you're doing any of that stuff, they do not care if you are a professional athlete. So it's one of those things where I'm not sure. Like I think that it makes the most basketball fit sense of any place he could possibly go in the league. Because also Kyrie's getting old, and he let Kyrie play the 2.
I think they would like go pretty far in the playoffs. Sorry, I cut you off. I couldn't.
No, you're good. You could potentially let Kyrie play like a bit more of the 2. But also, Kyrie is a better distributor than Ja, in terms of like has
1,000%.
But like Ja is like
in this situation, Kyrie would be coming off the bench because I can't see him being nearly as good as he was after this injury with this age.
I mean, yeah, but they're gonna start Kyrie at the 2. Kyrie's not coming off the bench. It's just not happening. You understand that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But they should go out and get someone else, I think. Because if you have Jaw and you have Cooper Flag can be like a really good defender, but if Cooper Flag is going to be the defender, you can't expect him to be the scorer. So they should get another like staunch defender.
I think that's a good point. Which, on that note, some people might be thinking, well, they have Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has got to get out of Dallas because there's.
Oh yeah, he is on this list. Who want Anthony Davis?
So
I have only one team.
Is it Chicago?
It is Chicago.
I remember back before Anthony Davis signed his extension after the championship in 2020. I remember him talking about how he was like, I'm going to play in Chicago at some point, which is, a lot of people who like, that's a big, like, at the very least, like Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago, like Hoopers.
If you were born there, you want to play there.
You want to play there. Just because of how much of a cultural impact those like kind of fan bases locally have in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and think about like what Derrick Rose did. How that city embraced him. Obviously, I don't think Anthony Davis would get that same amount of like cheer.
Dude,
but it would still be gigantic.
Bro, you misremember how bad Chicago Bulls fans have actually had it post Jimmy Butler. Do you not remember the way they were talking about?
Like, don't pay attention to.
Do you not remember how they were talking about DeMar DeRozan after the Spurs traded him there in 2021 or 2022?
They're talking about him like God.
I mean, he was on a absolute heater, but they were like, "Oh my God, Michael Jordan's back!" Like they were like. I mean, I'm probably pushing it a little far with that one because I'm sure they're like very, 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 very. But
he was going crazy though. I do remember that.
He was going crazy, and like they were popping off at the beginning of the year with Josh Giddey and stuff. Like I think that they.
Wait, can I sit down?
Yeah, I don't know why you're standing.
Because I didn't think like if I sat down, you'd be able to see my head. It would just be head.
Nah, it's all good. Oh, that's funny. Just tilt your camera down a little bit. And I should just do that as well. But yeah, no, I think that. So the thing is that if AD goes to Chicago, are you getting rid of Vooch or are you keeping Vooch because he's been hitting his threes?
Get rid of the dude with the glasses.
Jalen Smith, I mean.
Get rid of Kevin Huerter.
I don't know why they picked him up.
I think they just... Was it not a have to?
Probably. They probably needed a roster spot. Oh, wait, no. They got him from Sacramento.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, Trey Jones...
But wasn't that like a have to get like one of the... Like Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan, I can't remember, off the team?
It was Zach. But I will say, shout out to Trey Jones on the Bulls because he has been playing his butt off, and I feel really bad for the Bulls. Oh, they need to get rid of Zach Collins. Send Zach Collins to Dallas, baby.
Has he been doing bad?
Send Zach Collins to Dallas. It'd be hilarious.
Or is this just agenda hunting?
Oh,
this is a side note, but have you seen Agenda Piece?
No.
Get into the book talk One Piece?
Oh, no. I need to like I need disposable income so I can buy all of the One Piece manga and then I'll get into that again cuz like I just
get
can't
Shonen Jump,
otherwise.
the app. Just get the Shonen Jump app.
Yeah, no, I want to own it. Like I like physical media now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
down with streaming.
One of the girls I've been watching like go through One Piece and stuff told her that Law's backstory was made up. How far are you?
Officially, I just got past Fishman Island. I know what happens through Dressrosa and into.
Okay, no, time out. We watched Sabaody together.
Sabaody Archipelago is before Fishman Island. Both
said Fishman Island? I thought you said... My bad. I heard
I meant Arlong
Fishman
Park?
and I took with it. Yeah.
No.
I was like, wait, time out.
Yeah, no, I'm way past that. But anyway, I do think
All right,
that
back to basketball.
AD I think is a better fit up in Chicago, just because in terms of in the East, the power forward position, like outside of Giannis, there's not a ton of competition since Tatum's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's putting Tatum not at small forward, but like he's a power forward.
Who we're still on John Morant.
No, we were on because I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's. Oh, I will say.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
Anthony Davis. That's my bad.
yeah, no, but I guess we're closing the loop on Ja. I really just don't think that there's any team out there that like thinks the juice is worth the squeeze or has the assets. I'm gonna be honest though.
stealing that.
If the Clippers were
Wait,
smart,
time out.
if the
I'm
Clippers
so
were smart,
sorry.
what?
The juice is worth the squeeze.
Have you never heard that expression?
Not used. I like it. I'm stealing it.
It's not mine to steal. That's old, but all right. Yeah, no, I just think that Ja's play style, his trajectory as a player, his just overall kind of demeanor and level of maturity it's not what a lot of front offices are looking for, and in that kind of because of that same kind of reason, I also think that it's why Dallas is the only place that I could see actually trading for him. But I will say, if Steve Ballmer was actually smart, he would. Actually, no. I guess you'd have to try and rig up some.
I don't think they.
3-team trade at that point.
I have one other location we could send Ja. I got this from Deep 3.
I love them.
Banish him to Sacramento.
I mean, I feel like that's the most likely actual scenario, but it's not going to happen until the end of the season.
So funny. Sacramento should relocate.
No,
I do
they
agree
shouldn't.
with them on that.
They shouldn't relocate. They should get new ownership.
You don't think new ownership would move them out there immediately? Or I guess they did just get a baseball team.
Huh?
They did just get a baseball team, Sacramento.
Yeah. Also, as much as, there are narratives about, like, the downfall of California, Northern California is, like, a really nice place to live. So...
Expensive.
Yeah. Still a really nice place to live. And if you have, like, a really solid fan base there, it should theoretically make it pretty easy to attract, free agents. I mean, there's, like, a bunch of people who are from L.A.
I think so many people would want to play in Seattle.
Seattle... Well, I don't know. Hey, give Katie Wilson a year, and maybe that'll change. But Katie Wilson will also probably make the NBA like pay for stuff, which would also be awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, I would be surprised if Joe Dumars. I wouldn't mind if the Pelicans moved to Seattle. I'd still support them no matter what. But I like them in New Orleans because that's close to like home. But
yeah. Oh, so I guess we should. So I really only think there's like. Ja into Sacramento, I would think would happen at the end of the year, if anything.
Yeah.
Just because Sacramento, at this point, I think has been burned too many times by in-season trades to run that shit again.
I do think it would be an in-season trade, though.
You think it'd be in-season?
Yeah, I think a John Morant trade is going to happen sooner than later.
I agree.
Because I think the Grizzlies is going to want a defined definition for the second half of the season. Or defined direction, not defined definition.
I mean, maybe they're just Kyler Murraying him and just be like, we don't know what we're gonna do with you as an asset or part of the or contract we have to deal with, but we know that you're as a basketball player,
sad.
we're just not gonna have you out here.
I love the Arizona Cardinals too, as like a like it's not even historic because they're not historic.
They're historically mid. Or not even mid.
As a football team. I read about them a lot as a kid.
You read about them?
Yeah. You didn't read about sports?
Not too much, no.
Oh, bruh. I read about every single football team, and I read about half of the baseball teams.
Huh.
The ones that I actually liked. The ones I hated, I just didn't pay attention to. Like, I know nothing about the Yankees.
I mean, that's fair. So
let's talk about John Morant's teammate.
Big Jaren?
Where would you want to see Jaren Jackson Jr. go?
Oh, actually, I do have an answer for this, but it's only because we were talking about it just a little while ago. I actually think that Jaren should go to New Orleans.
Never mind. I don't have that on my list.
I think that New Orleans needs to blow it up, and I think you also think that, but
yes,
because they have too many assets that other teams want, and if they blow it up the right way, they can recoup some good players to add as building blocks alongside the young guys they have. But
I do think
more
Jaren
importantly,
Jackson
they need
Jr. would
picks.
fit perfectly along with Derek Queen.
Jaren Jackson Jr. would fit amazingly alongside Derek Queen, because Derek Queen is kind of like Jokic as a defender, in the sense that
you cut out. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think Derek Queen looks a fair amount like Jokic as a defender, in the sense that he's not going to get up.
Even Jokic says it.
But like he stays in front of you. He stays in front of you, and he's hard to move. And like if that's his primary job on defense, and you have someone like Jaren who can be that weak side shot blocker, like that is a much better combo in terms of like an effective two-way like front court.
Yeah, and
as opposed to Zion.
This is another thing from Deep 3, but I've been saying this since like I want to say like 2023. Zion sucks when he's skinny. His whole game is going through people, and he needed to be big to do it. So I think a Jaren Jackson Jr. does exactly what you were expecting out of Zion, but he like at least attempts a couple threes.
Yeah, and it's also just like
plus that defense.
Yeah, and also
like, without
Queen is a pretty good rebounder, right?
Around the rim, like Zion has seemed so like docile this year to me. We always talk about like how he's supposed to be explosive, how he's supposed to like go.
I'm gonna be honest.
24/7.
I'm gonna be honest.
Haven't seen it this year.
I think it's probably because he's trying to make sure he doesn't get hurt, so he can get like the incentives in his contract. Which I can't blame him for, but I also kind of can.
I want him gone.
Yeah. That era just needs to be over.
Zion can be the person we talk about after Jaren Jackson Jr. because I also have Zion on the list.
I would honestly trade them like, for each other.
The two places I got on my list are Pistons.
Ooh.
I really want to see him next to Jalen Duren. And then he can also be like the secondary shot creator on the Pistons and give Cade Cunningham a little bit up. And they have the trade assets to do it because they got young creator Jaden Ivey.
See, I feel like they want to keep Jaden Ivey because of that lack of additional like point guard depth as well.
But I feel like that point guard depth is really easy to get.
I mean,
like you don't need a star. You just need someone to pick it up while Cade is off and Jaren is on.
You say that, but there's a noticeable lack of point guard
too.
depth.
Jalen Duren can handle the ball.
Huh?
Jalen Duren, have you been tuned in Pistons lately?
I've been tuning in a bit more. I watched their blowout last night, which wasn't particularly entertaining, but
Jalen Duren looks really good with the ball, yeah?
He does. It's very interesting. He attacks the rim in a lot more of like it looks a lot more like older basketball in the sense of like the way he uses his handle, because he just will like he fully squares you straight up and down and is like, I have the ball right here and I'm just gonna pick which side I'm gonna be explosive and get around you and you can't really do anything about it.
So he's been in the league for like 4 years, I think. You know how old he is?
27. I don't know.
22.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And everyone
He's
was
gonna
like
get
giving
more
up on him.
swole.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Speaking of swole people,
You should have seen him in college.
So would you trade Stewart for Jaren?
Sadly,
because I think Pistons fans wouldn't do that.
I could not give up Stewart. Stewart means too much to that team.
Yeah, Pistons fans love Stewie now. because he's like the heart and
I'm
soul.
probably
He's like the
trading
marker of growth for
Jenkins.
them.
I'm probably trading Jenkins and Ivy.
Taylor, not Taylor Jenkins.
The guy that's been exploding onto the scene.
Oh, I haven't. Like I
Just
said,
to give the Grizzlies another young guy that seems to have promise.
See, I think that the Grizz, like, I feel like Memphis isn't a bad place for Zion.
Say that one more time.
I feel like
The
Memphis
Pistons?
is not a bad place for Zion. That's not where Zion wants to be. I know that for sure.
I think Zion would do really good in those egalitarian offenses.
Because it gives him a chance to get like the in motion one-on-ones that allow him to be explosive without like having to be so big he's bulldozing through people.
I have the best location for him, but I want to talk about it after this last place I got for Jaren Jackson Jr.
Okay, go ahead.
What would you think about him in Toronto?
Who's the 4 for Toronto right now?
Pretty sure it's Scotty Barnes.
Ooh.
Jaren would play 5 in that system.
See, here's the thing. I don't know. Can Jaren play the 5?
Yeah, he did for like a whole year.
I know he did, but he still was like pulling down like 4 rebounds a game.
Oh yeah, no, that's what Scotty's for.
So who are you trading? Because here's the thing, they're not. I don't think the Memphis is going to trade. I think they're going to try and get draft capital for Ja, if they can. But I think they need a player.
You trade young players.
Huh?
You trade Emmanuel quickly. You trade Grady Dick. And then if they have picks.
Okay. That's not... They definitely have picks because of the OG Anunoby trade. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. And so then you'd have RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes,
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr. You have Jakob Poeltl coming in as the reserve. If Jakob Poeltl is your backup center, that's a good position to be in.
Yeah, like that front court is insane.
Who's the lead guard?
Up the ball.
Who's the lead guard in that?
Oh, you would be trading him with Emmanuel quickly.
Yeah, I know. So like, who in that scenario, who would be the point guard? It's so funny.
But I feel like that again is a solution. Like that's something they can easily find.
You're saying that, but there are a lot of teams that don't actually have like certified point guards right now. Part of that is because the position has changed, because the offenses have changed so much to be more egalitarian, as shooting has become a prerequisite to become a professional player. But
yeah.
Also, sorry for the sniffles. I feel like it's also just like, especially, you know, speaking as someone, as a Spurs fan, who we have like all of the point guards right now. It's like us in Sacramento, but Sacramento in a bad way.
Yeah, in a derogatory way.
In just a derogatory way. Sacramento, point guard team, derogatory. Even their center is a point guard. Also, they're starting Drew Eubanks, and I love Drew Eubanks, but
so
don't
Brooklyn,
do that
though.
to him. That's so mean. He's not a starter. He is 6'9". He is 6'9", and his name is not Bam Adebayo. Don't do that to him.
I love the Heat, by the way. We can talk about that later when we get to rankings.
And we're gonna have to
I'm really high up on the Heat.
But so I think that Toronto's not a bad spot for him. I do genuinely think though that like if you do like a Zion plus like I don't know, some amount of like some kind of like contract agreement to like where the Pelicans will still pay a fair amount of his salary. To just match the salary for Jaren Jackson. That's a straight-up trade that I think would be beneficial for both teams at this point.
How would it be beneficial to Memphis?
Because I think that Memphis needs to hit the reset button.
So Zion is just used as a cannonball?
Not necessarily.
But a lower weight cannonball
it's more so of an energy guy, a certified asset. Like I feel like in Memphis, it's also might be a little bit easier to like gauge his total value as an asset and potentially flip him for something else later. But think about all the picks they got from the Desmond Bain trade, and then
Yeah.
they're having these problems with Jaw. So at this point, if you're Memphis and you just like you have a you have a really strong local fan base and you don't want to like let them down completely, give them something to watch and see what you got.
Zion is unwatchable right now, in my opinion.
I think part of that is also the Pelicans might just be unwatchable, man.
I don't think so, bro. I really don't think so. Because right now, well, that would be chalked up to just the Pelicans. But we can't shoot. And it doesn't help when Zion doesn't shoot any threes.
And that's the other thing is that I feel like
I'm at least attempting to.
Memphis is like scouting department and they're like their G League scouting and stuff like that. They find shooters. They find shooters. Like
You want to know where I want to see Zion go?
Where?
I want to see him on the Denver Nuggets. Use him only as a slasher.
Just have him be no defense Aaron Gordon.
That's what he is.
But Aaron Gordon's like okay, here's the thing though. I don't want to do that because you're asking. I like the idea. I like the fit idea. In that same vein, he might honestly wouldn't be a bad fit with Luka.
Put him on the Lakers? Yeah, no, he would be great on the Lakers, actually.
Especially, like, you can keep DeAndre Ayton there.
He's a smaller, better Jackson Hayes.
Yeah. And it's like,
That's so disrespectful.
That would be fun.
That's so disrespectful.
Because here's the thing. You can take the ball out of his hands completely at that point.
He works best as the point guard, though. That's when he was big.
He works best in terms of on the Pelicans as point Zion.
He's never played anything other than point Zion, I think.
I don't think so. Because when he was at Duke, he was catching a lot more lobs.
I don't remember that.
Well, because R.J. Barrett was, I think, listed as a shooting guard coming out of college. I actually
can't remember. The main thing I remember from Zion in college is the Nike stock drop.
Yeah, it's so funny because I feel like that's the only thing people remember because Duke didn't go very far in the tournament.
He also got hurt.
Yeah, but I guess honestly,
I have another location too.
Here's the thing. I think that Zion is the next Bradley Beal in my mind as well.
Yeah, get him off my team, bro.
I just mean in the sense of like, he's gonna get whatever the process it takes. He's gonna get a lot of his money. You know what I mean? Or honestly, he's a bit more like the next DeAndre Ayton in that sense.
Is he gonna get his money?
I think that's what he's doing
trust
right
him
now.
enough?
I think that he's trying to play enough games. He's hit his weight limits that they put in the contracts, which he fired his agent over. I think hilarious. That's a fair thing to fire your agent over. As basketball fans, we understand, but also like, that's a little much. But
he just needed that girth.
He did. It's like, I do think that he needs the ability to like operate in a transition.
Like, first and foremost. He's an up and down player.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I think that like, honestly, it depends on like what ends up with his contract, because that's the biggest thing I feel like in terms of why there's not like a huge market, a buyer's market for Ja or Zion, because those are both valuable assets if you are a smart coach and you have somebody else that can be in charge of the lead creation.
Yeah.
But
wait, say that last part again.
if you have somebody who's in charge of like lead creation on the team, like somebody like
That goes
Luka,
into my second. That goes into my
or
second
Zion,
spot
or,
for Zion.
not Zion, or Jokic. So like Denver's not a bad
I think-
spot, but Denver needs more shooting.
I think he'd be good on the New York Knicks.
See, you can't have Cat, Brunson, and Zion on the floor at the same time. Defensively,
Why?
that's just going to be those are turnstiles.
They're going to score so many points, though.
But here's the thing: if you can't trust Zion to stay healthy, Cat
No,
has
you can't.
fouling out problems. Brunson
You can't
is
trust
small.
Mitchell Robinson to stay healthy.
You can't trust Mr. Robinson to stay healthy either. The other thing is that
You'd be trading like Mikal Bridges or OG in this, which in my eyes is Mikal.
yeah. So I don't know. I think that they're both just really hard players to put somewhere because most of their game was based around their athleticism, and there's not a ton of evolution that we've really seen. Because, like, you know, even predominantly athletic players, like, there's a lot of, like, evolution you can put into that. If you, like, you know, are like, well, I'm not going to be this young and athletic forever. I'm going to get really good at rebounding. Like, it's like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just, like, neither of these players have felt the need to develop in that way. And it's just, you can tell. And it's definitely detrimental to the overall team successes that they've had as well, which is why it also makes it really hard to move on from them, because there's not a huge market out there. Like, there's a reason that there were people that were looking to trade for Brandon Ingram, because he's a plug-and-play asset, but also we've seen him in
And
seasons
Brandon
where...
Ingram was so good.
We've
He's
seen him
doing
in
really
seasons
good in
where there...
Toronto right
yeah,
now.
but we saw him in seasons where there was no Zion take the Pelicans to the playoffs twice. Those were not
He's
complete
really good.
rosters.
He was my favorite player for the longest time. I almost bought a jersey, but I knew he'd be gone.
Yeah, but like those were not like complete rosters by any means. Like, and
Because everything was built around Zion. I think if we built it more around Brandon Ingram or built it more around like the idea that Trey can shoot the ball, Jordan Hawkins can shoot the ball.
yeah, and that's the thing is just that like the problem is that it's hard to build a team around Zion because he doesn't stay healthy.
Yeah,
but I
So,
think that it's going to be
let's do
dependent
a
on what
speed
happens
run
with
real
his
quick.
contract, really.
let's do a speed run real quick
Yeah,
because we've been
just
on
and
this
then
for
let's
40
get to
minutes.
let's get to our thing.
All right, Herb, give me one or two teams.
Herb. I could see Herb going to Minnesota.
Okay, I can see that too, but I don't have that on here. I have someone else going to Minnesota.
In terms of who else needs a Herb, honestly, if it was possible, well, actually, no, I'm sure you're gonna have a different player up there for this, but maybe Philly, just to kind of fill some of the Paul PG role, because he's just kind of washed.
Don't have another player for Philly, but I do think Herb would be decent there.
Just to kind of like fill the Paul George.
They need more like forward, better forwards.
Outside of that, honestly, San Antonio
I
would
have
be a
two
great fit.
that you didn't list.
San Antonio would be.
He would be great in
a
San Antonio
because we need another small forward. Devin Vassell is basically our only small forward outside of Julian Champagny.
Mm-hmm. And
when
Herb
Champagny's
would be
on the
taking
floor,
that
he
second role, so
spaces.
he can take Sohan.
Yeah. Here's the thing. As soon as Sohan came back to the team, like the offense looks so much more complete because there's another Sohan gets a lot of assists.
He's looking for people. He's not looking for himself ever.
No, and the thing is, like, it's so funny because like Sean Elliott literally in one of our last games was like chastising him because he got a pass like and then turned right into a Hawks player. And then because they like did the closeout well, but he like stopped his momentum completely, and then just like turned, looked, saw Keldon Johnson, went yeet, and Sean Elliott literally was like, "If you're Jeremy, you got to shoot that." Keldon caught it, swished it from 3, it was just like. But the thing is also is that his
I hate
impact
to see him on the Spurs
defensively
though,
is
because they
so
make him
nice.
so good.
Hmm?
Herb, in my opinion, is behind Wemby, the best defender in the league.
Yeah, and I think that's just that like, well, the problem is that the teams that really, really, really need Herb, like the Clippers, don't have any assets.
I think these two teams could really use him.
All right,
Golden State Warriors
assets.
and the Miami Heat. I'm not thinking about assets. I was thinking about who wants him, who like needs a player like him.
Heat would be interesting. I think the Heat could get him. I guess is he the
I just think
backup
the
to
only thing
Wiggins?
holding him back from the Heat is that he can't shoot. They can't trade Wiggins because Herb can't shoot.
Also, Wiggins is playing well.
He's one of their second main shooter right now. Norman Powell's been hurt. He's back
That's
though.
only recently though, because he's been playing.
Yeah.
Norman Powell isn't like a huge injury risk guy, for the most part. But
I love Norman Powell.
I think Miami is a good fit for Herb. I think just it's like. I think Minnesota would be the place I'd want to see him go because I feel like that'd be the place where he'd fill the biggest void.
I have Trey Murphy III going to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
See, I think Trey Murphy would be a perfect fit in Philly.
In Philly? I don't want him in Philly.
Why? It'd be too good?
No, I don't trust anything about Philly.
Why?
What does their front court look like?
It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Right now, their front court doesn't matter.
I think it will come down playoff time.
Oh, of course it will. This is not like Philadelphia. Doesn't have like has their draft capital for the next couple of years. I think though. I think they may have one pick that is due to OKC at some point, but I don't know. But I think Trey Murphy III is just like a really, really good fit alongside Maxey and Edgecombe. That like he covers up some of their deficiencies, but also like he and VJ like in terms of like switching like on screens and stuff. Like I feel if I was a Sixers fan, I'd be like, I feel good about this. And I also feel like
I want Trey Murphy to go somewhere where he can. This is just me talking as a fan, where he can instantly win. I think with the Timberwolves, he feels like kind of the middle ground of an offensive and defensive player that they've been missing. They were expecting that with Julius Randle, but
Julius Randle's been playing. No. Julius Randle's been hooping. He just hasn't been playing defense.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
He's not that defensive thing that they were looking for.
Yeah.
And with Jaden Daniels trying to take up that offensive load, he's been worse on defense. So get you another offensive person that is good to decent on defense. Trey Murphy's actually really, really good in my opinion.
Yeah. And then just let
Jaden Daniels do his thing.
Basically let Jaden McDaniels be Sohan. Just come in off the bench and just be like, I'm just going to lock up for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can also run small ball center lineups with Jaden McDaniels at that point.
How tall is he?
I think he's 6'8" to 6'9", something like that.
No, I wouldn't do a small ball center with him then.
Well, I just mean in terms of because there's going to be times where Rudy Gobert like is hard to play still, but
yeah,
I think
really
that's
like Rudy.
That's a really good fit.
I hate watching Rudy.
Honestly, a fantastic spot. They don't have the assets to get it. It'd be fun to see Trey Murphy III like fill the Chris Middleton void in Milwaukee.
I think he would be pretty good there. I also have Orlando because Desmond Bane isn't doing the amount of threes that he should be. So get another 3-point shooter in there to split the load between the two. Still keep the defensive mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't have the assets.
And then the thing is, too, one of Paolo, Franz, or Trey has to come off the bench. Unless Trey plays the 2. But if Trey plays the 2, that means he's going to have to be one of your lead ball handlers, and he's a turnover machine. He should just be finishing plays, in my opinion.
Hmm. Yeah, that's not bad. All right, what are your other Pelicans?
Um, that's it for Pelicans. Those
Okay.
three. I had Poole on the list, but I don't know if he's that interesting.
I think Jordan Poole is just like you wait until someone calls you to get him. Like he's not someone
Yeah,
you
I
go
want to see
shop.
him in. I put down Atlanta, New York, and Boston. I think he could be pretty good in Boston.
I wouldn't mind him in Atlanta actually. Boston wouldn't be bad just because he'd be like he'd just give a little bit more kind of
Yeah,
juice.
with Atlanta, my thought was okay, trade Trey Young, so you have Jordan Poole next to Nikhil Alexander Walker, so Nikhil Alexander Walker can focus on defense
Which
because
I will
that's the
say,
main
I
reason
mean,
you drafted Nikhil Alexander Walker.
however though, he's been Nikhil Alexander Walker's had some explosive offensive games recently. Like he definitely has a bag.
I don't like his offense.
It can be
Too many
effective
shots.
sometimes though. That's fair. All
Too
right.
many shots going to the wrong people.
All right. Let's get into
One more. One
okay,
more.
one more. All right, go ahead.
LaMelo Ball.
Ooh.
I have one team on here and it's a joke. I can't see him anywhere else.
Brooklyn.
The Timberwolves. Think about how hard that PR team would have to work with him and Anthony Edwards.
See, the thing is, there's not that much trouble to get into in Minneapolis, it seems.
That's not. They gonna talk, bro.
I know.
That's the issue. They gonna talk.
I think it's very funny how many people don't even know that, like, the Ball brothers are responsible for the entire 6'7" meme epidemic. The
Because
entire
of the
meme is
LaMelo edits.
the entire meme like revolves around the fact that LaMelo is a 6'7" point guard. At least as far as I understand it.
No, it came from. A lot of people are using like. There's this big trend on TikTok to like try to make edits out of any and everything. So one of the announcers was
Oh
talking about
Lord.
LaMelo Ball being 6'7", so it transitioned to a
Uh,
song that said 6'7",
isn't that
and then
his
that song
brother's
became super popular
song?
from it. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's by a dude named Skrilla.
Man, the recession really is back. We have Skrillex again? All right. All right.
My brother is still an avid Skrillex listener.
I mean, good dubstep isn't bad.
I don't like dubstep.
I don't know if Skrillex is good dubstep really, but
Oh, he's insane. Did you watch the Transformer movie with the dinosaurs?
no. Unless you're talking about
So
the
he
fourth
made
one. I watched the fourth one with Mark Wahlberg. I did watch that.
Yeah, it has Mark Wahlberg in it. I think was it the one with dinosaurs where they went with Optimus Primal.
I'm gonna be
It was
honest,
a
I don't
big
even know.
gorilla transformer.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Anyway, they have this big T-Rex and it roars. Skrillex made the roar for it,
Of course, Michael Bay does
and it was
that kind of
really
stuff.
cool.
All right,
It
hey,
was really good.
pull up the document where we had. So previously, y'all, we had done East rank to this. All right. So I still feel fine about all of my locks, by the way. So that was another thing we did last time, but I had messed up the audio, so you couldn't hear it. Is that we had put locks in terms of the teams that we were most sure would finish in the position that we had initially predicted them. And
Yeah,
I feel fine about
I'm
mine.
good with my I'm good with my locks too.
I will say, I think that the biggest immediate thing that I see in terms of my list that I want to swap the Clippers and the Jazz. Oh, actually, not necessarily like swap, but I want to put the Clippers where the Jazz were, and and then move the Suns up, and then put the Jazz at 10. That's what I think. Because Lowry's been on a tear, and Keontae George has looked pretty good.
We basically have the same list now. Who's at 9?
9 is Phoenix.
Utah Jazz.
The Jazz. I mean, honestly, that's funny. That's funnier because I don't. There is. You want to know the place that has probably the least amount of history of jazz in the United States?
Utah.
Yeah.
Who's at 9?
Notoriously white Mormon art form, jazz. 9, I have Phoenix.
Okay.
Actually, wait. Oh, see. Yeah, no, I have Phoenix. Because Steph is still, like, just having Jimmy there to, like, be another just offensive, like, producer as well as, like, creator has just made it a lot easier for him to just get open and kind of get his shit off, and he's still on a fairly significant heater.
So I'm moving the T-Wolves up one spot.
I think 7
I'm moving
through
Golden State
10 are
to 7.
7 through 10 are like a tier of teams for sure this year in the West.
And I'm putting the Trailblazers in at 9.
Ooh. Wow.
I'm changing the Clippers
And Jazz.
with the Dallas Mavericks.
Interesting. I still think Mavs aren't going to win
Grizzlies
a
at
lot of
11.
games. Well, they'll probably be at 12
These are going to be
instead
the
of
Clippers.
13. But
And then no, I think Utah, Memphis, Clips.
where's Sac? 14.
14.
Sacramento honestly feels very similar to the Pelicans in terms of, like, there's a lot of very good basketball players on that team. That is not a good team, though.
It's a terrible team. I hate watching them. Where
Get
did
him
I
back
put
to
my?
the Jokic, though.
Where did I? There's my muffins. Okay. I'm very confident about my locks too.
Yeah,
I think Golden State can push into the playoffs.
you're really low on Minnesota. Still.
I have them at the same place as you.
No, I know, but, like, I feel like Minnesota, like, I feel like there's going to, like, later on in the season, because these are also our, like, final predictions. They're not, like, our current power rankings. This is what we think will be at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see myself being wrong in the Mavericks. I think it's just, like, I think it's a little bit of, like, there's too much of a circus there to just really see any kind of significant success. And making the play-in is a success.
I've seen enough of Coop to think that they can have enough offense. They just need someone to create it.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to make that trade.
Well, they fired the GM, and they're trying to make Michael Finley the interim GM. And then they also are trying to make Jason Kidd the interim GM. It is not a well-run organization at all, man.
I think they're going to make a trade regardless.
I mean, I would imagine they would, but at the same time, again, remember,
Because like you can't be
ownership
watching this team.
The ownership was so, like, unaware of basketball that they didn't realize that trading Luka was gonna, like, whenever I saw there were protests outside the Mavericks building, I was like, that's not really that surprising, because Luka's on, like, there are still murals to this guy.
Luka was Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved him in Dallas. I'm not gonna lie, that shit looked nice.
Him in Los Angeles feels weird. It still feels weird.
Yeah, it feels like cheating on someone.
It does a little bit.
I don't know how that feels, but
I don't either. Anyway.
It feels like it would feel like it.
Okay, so by the way, I know Wemby is hurt, and that might lead some people to like think that like Spurs throughout the season are gonna.
Yeah, that was the reason why I was thinking about switching Denver and San Antonio.
I mean,
But
I think
at the end of the
Denver's
day,
gonna
I
win more
think
games,
San
so.
Antonio is going to have a better regular season record. And do you want to know what was the final thing that convinced me of it?
No.
Did you watch the game last night?
Denver.
Do you know who they lost to?
They lost to the Kings.
Yeah.
That's not as surprising to me, just because it seems like it was Russell Westbrook kind of had a little bit of a He-Man in the last frame, and it's also just like
I was like, okay, these guys are going to lose a couple games.
the Sacramento also put up a really close game against Denver earlier in the year already. I think that's just like a really weird matchup for Denver. Because, like, the things Denver is good at defensively don't really matter as much against Sacramento. Just because, again, it's such a weird team. But
Yeah.
I think that's just, like, a specific matchup thing. But
I do really like the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are doing a lot of good right now.
Jokic looks better somehow.
Do you think he's MVP? I think he's MVP.
I know. Okay, the big argument for Shea is that like look at his numbers and he's not playing fourth quarters, and it's like that's awesome. I get that, but like Jokic is somehow surprising us. Which after
Again.
Yeah, people were already like, it was already almost like universally accepted that he is of the same caliber of player as Hakeem Olajuwon. Like he is like 10-11 all time.
Our kids are going to consider him like Wilt Chamberlain, except
Wilt was actually
we have
a merchant.
of it.
Yeah, Wilt was a legitimate merchant for a lot of his big numbers.
Jokic,
these are ethical hoops. He's doing this shit
just like
ethically. But yeah, I just think that offense, like I said, year long is going to be able to just win them a few more games than San Antonio. I think San Antonio is a still 50-win team, but I think the thing is that San Antonio is the second deepest team in this conference. Like,
I want to talk about the Jazz real quick before we move on to the East.
Okay. Just Lowry, or
you have them in the play-in.
Yeah.
Could you explain that a little bit?
It's a bit more of just like, you know, the play-in run that like the near play-in run that Portland made last year?
Yeah.
That's the season I see happening. Where just like there's a couple things where like there are people who have been there just long enough that there's like enough kind of like organizational continuity that as there are some teams that are imploding because of organizational mismanagement, which I would say those organizational mismanagement or just like player personality issues, which fit 11 through 15 on my list. I just think that they're going to kind of like, in some ways, just kind of be able to stay above the fray a bit more, just because they don't have as many of those like crazy problems. Although I do want to say, there was a game that, in terms of like the biggest thing I've seen previously that makes me think this is a dumb take. There was a game where Ace Bailey started last week where he played 7 minutes and fouled out.
That's hilarious.
Which is one of the funniest stat lines ever, because that's crazy.
But we're so excited to play our new rookie. He tanked his draft stock just so he could come to us. He didn't want to go to us.
No, he wanted to go anywhere else.
Just to foul out.
Yeah.
In like 7 or 10 minutes. All right, let's go to the East real quick.
Yeah. But I like I said, I feel like there's like 3 distinct tiers in the West. It's like 1 through 6 are teams that all of them could win 50 games and no one would really be that surprised. 7 through 10 over there is just like they are play-in teams. And then 11 through 15 is just like shit show. Okay. The Bucks need Giannis back pretty bad. But they also managed to run into the Pistons as the Pistons got healthy last night, which did not help them. Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah, I'm okay with this list.
Let me look at mine again.
All I did was switch the Raptors with the Bucks.
And you and I had very different lists, if I remember.
Yeah. Because you're really high on the Bucks and I'm really low.
I'm not necessarily really high on the Bucks. I just think that
Or you have them as a 4 seed.
I think they're just going to
And a
win
lock.
4 seed and required number of games. I will say, actually, I do want to. I want to swap Miami and the Bucks. That's the only one I want to do.
On my list I made today, Miami was a 4 seed.
Uh-huh.
So looking at that list, I'm fine with them being 5. Because I do think the Hawks are going to be good. On
The
this
Hawks
list,
are
I
good.
had the Hawks at 7.
Also, I think it's just very.
So does that
funny.
mean you're changing your lock to the
I
Heat being at 4?
Yeah, actually, I would, because I think that the Heat are just like, I think they're just very clearly, top 4 teams in the East. I think the Hawks, just because they have they have a fair amount of youth, and I think there's just going to be a little bit of like I foresee a couple like 4 or 5 game skids in the Hawks' future, just because Hawks basketball. But like I could see them
Yeah, I
finishing
could see
10
that too.
games over. Like I could see them finishing.
I
like,
could also see them
10 games
trading
over
Trey
500.
Young
Yeah,
if they do good enough with Jalen Johnson.
yeah. But like I could see them being like what, like 46 and 36. That's 82, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
That's
I could
math.
see them be 10 games above 500. Like that. That's what I could see like being a really good spot for them, which to me just sounds like a 6 seed.
How do you feel about the bottom 3 seeds?
I feel exactly the same. Because I also
feel
watched
exactly
the Wizards
the
last
same.
night. The Wizards have a lot of young talent that are, like, especially their most recent draft and then last year's draft for them,
Yeah.
outside of Alexander Sarr.
I will say you have the exact opposite order that the rankings are right now, I think.
I do, but I think it's just like the Wizards, the way the Wizards are playing better basketball than anyone's giving them credit for. I'm not saying they're a
They're
good
losing,
team,
though.
but they're playing better basketball than people are giving them credit for. And I just feel like once you get later into the season, as some teams have like kind of like, you know, have their eyes set somewhere else, like I could see the Wizards having a really, really great March and basically no other good months.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I think that really great March will get them more wins than the Indiana Pacers and the Brooklyn Nets.
I disagree. I think the Brooklyn Nets are really good. Not, but whoa.
Ooh, actually, wait.
I did not say that. I did not just say that. I think the Brooklyn Nets have good players.
Uh-huh.
Like MPJ and Cam Thomas are going to get them wins
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they kind of built a roster this year that was not designed to win or compete, which they tried to do last year, but the coach was too good. Because like I feel like they are tanking.
The Nets, yeah, totally, they are.
Otherwise, why would
But
you
they're trying to get
draft that
they're
many
trying to
point
get the draft
guards?
stock of those 2 guys up, I think,
Yeah.
because they wasted 5 first-round picks this year.
I mean, we don't know if all of them are wasted yet, but they at least wasted half of them because you drafted 3 of the
Do you
same position.
They drafted like 5. Danny Wolf at center is a point guard.
Did they really draft 5 point guards?
Basically, yeah.
That's so insane.
4 point guards and then 1 center, which is Danny Wolf, who plays like a point guard.
Yeah, so like that's a team construction that is designed to lose games.
Yeah, you completely wasted your picks when you could have
Just trade them
traded
for
half
next
of them
year.
for future assets.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'll give you this year's first round pick if you give me
Yours next
2
year.
from 2030.
I mean, that would be a
I don't know.
silly trade. But I agree. I think it's just like the East is just still like I really want to see where the East looks like at the All-Star break.
I really like the Orlando Magic.
I still don't know how to feel about them. I don't watch enough of their games quite yet, but
The only thing that's holding them back is that Bane is the only 3-point shooter, and I recognize that teams are defending this team as if
knowing
Bane is
that-
the only 3-point shooter.
yeah, which also that's exactly what I thought was going to happen whenever they traded for him. By the way, because I was like, okay,
So we just need to get 3 more 3-point shooters. Get Trey Murphy on this team.
it definitely would not be a bad move. Honestly, though, it's like I don't know. The Magic are just like they're just a perpetually 7 seed type team to me. Like I just don't. No, I just mean in terms of like the way that the organization is run, like it never feels like they maximize their assets. And I think part of it is that they
They
draft
stick
like
too
a
long
defense.
on one thing.
Yeah, they don't know when it's time to cut to try something new, to shake something up.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just kind of leaves them in these just doldrums.
It's like this Paulo Franz debacle, I think it's going to last like 3 more years.
It so
When there
shouldn't.
probably should be a decision at the end of this year.
The decision at the end of this year is like whichever one of them you think is easier to just like build and run a modern NBA offense around is the one you keep, and the other one is the one you sell while their stock is as high as possible. Because both of them are going to have really high trade stock at the end of the season.
Paolo is like he has so much gravity and he can like create so much for himself, and like he's the better basketball player of the two, but Franz fits into teams so much better. Like it's easier to build around. So do you want the better player and build around that and trust your GM to create a team?
No.
Or do you want to get a player that can like be plug and play like Brandon Ingram is?
That's the thing. Is like that's why I'd rather just stick with Franz, because it's like the other thing is like
with how Jamal Mosley is, and if they're not going to fire him, I'd rather stick with Paolo.
I think they're going to fire him is the other part of it.
I think Jamal Mosley's a good coach, though.
But the offense has been so clunky for so many years, and a lot of that has been personnel. But it's also like
that's on the GM.
Yeah,
that's not on Jamal Mosley.
Go, for sure, but it's just. I feel.
But with the
like,
GM going, that means coach is going probably.
Yeah, I think it's also just like you got to think about like the way that modern NBA offenses are starting to evolve, where because there's so much variance in 3-point shooting, and how much of the lane is opened up as a result of having to guard it. Like, the Spurs and the Thunder and the Rockets are built in similar ways in the sense that they don't actually have a ton of 3-point shooters, but they all are high percentage shooters as a team for the most part, because they pick their spots well. But it's also because they focus primarily on getting the defense to collapse in, and so that way they can't run people off the line as much. By slashing.
That's why I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Borrego.
I feel like Franz is kind of one of those people. It's like, I don't know, and maybe it's I don't watch enough Magic games, but it's just it feels like Franz's game, in terms of spacing, is easier to, like, conduct an offense around than Paolo.
Well, it's because Franz is a part of the spacing. So, like, you have to guard him on the outside as much as they have to guard him on the inside, while Paolo is like, holy shit, we need to get 3 people in on him while he's driving to the rim.
Yeah, and I just don't...
And
but the thing is that Paolo's not Giannis.
A good enough creator.
He's not Giannis.
He can be.
No, he can't.
He can be.
No, he can't. He's not. He's
Giannis that plays like Carmelo.
That sounds so
Is that what you just said too?
nasty.
Did we say that at the same time?
I didn't say he's Giannis that plays like Carmelo. I just said he can't be Giannis, and then you said that, and I said that sounds nasty.
Nasty as in good?
No, more so
I
just
think it
like
sounds nasty as in good.
I'm just imagining Giannis's 3-point shot, but applied from 1 foot inside the arc, and it just makes me go, ugh.
That is one qualm I have against Paolo. However, Paolo can take over games. I don't think Franz can. And I don't think you trade someone that can take over a game like that. Like, do you remember in the playoffs? I think it was last year, or was it the year before, where he dropped
It was
like 50
last year.
points
He
in a
dropped
game
50
7?
points in. The year before was he dropped 50 points in Game 7. Last year he dropped 50 in Game 1, and then they proceeded to get gentlemen swept.
So he can take over games. I think that's so valuable to have in the league.
But it's also about how he does it. Because it's one thing if it's a... Because I think the biggest problem with Paolo is that like when he's taking over games, whenever he's being like such a high usage player, it slows the pace down so much, and so much of modern NBA is designed around pace that like it
But
feels
that's
like.
why I love the Orlando Magic, though. They play slow.
And here's the thing, but they play slow, but not as much. They play slow, but not in the same way that Houston plays slow. Houston plays slow because they know they don't have the guard depth and the shooting to play at a crazy pace, and so they utilize as much of the shot clock as possible to limit the number of possessions, which is part of the reason why they like some of their numbers, if you look at them just without context, look a little like, how does that make sense? Orlando, I feel like
Rockets are number 1 offense, too.
yeah, but that's what I mean in terms of like, but like Orlando as an offense, when they're playing slow, because here's the other thing: if you have Franz, you have Suggs as a point of attack defender. You have Franz,
Anthony
you
Black,
have
too.
Paolo, and you have Bane who can kind of run the kind of be the trailer to hit trailing at the 3-point line. They should be a
As
good
long as he
transition
shoots the
offense.
threes.
They should be a good transition offense.
They are, I think. But they just don't get in transition that often.
And I feel like the reason they don't get in transition that often is because they hit these lows with the way with their pace. Because again, I don't think it is a feature. I think it is a side effect of the Orlando Magic offense that they are slow, not a feature in the same way that it is for Houston. And maybe I'm wrong.
I think
But it just
what's
also feels
holding
like-
Orlando back is someone to set the floor.
Yeah.
I don't think Suggs sets the floor. I think he's
a
a
shooting
such
guard.
defender, but he shouldn't be running the offense.
No.
You can't put that on either of the forwards.
Like Suggs is a worse playmaker than Derek White, and Derek White is like the bar for, are you a good enough facilitator to be setting the floor and running the offense, and I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
Not happy
So,
about it,
like,
but okay with it.
If the Magic had someone there, like a Cole Anthony, if I'm being honest.
And they got rid of him.
Yeah, they sent him away, banished him
He's too
to
short.
Memphis, I think it was.
No, he's in Milwaukee.
Well, he signed to Memphis, or was traded to Memphis, dropped, and then signed with Milwaukee. But just someone to get both of them going. Because right now, the way they have to start to get going is by creating for themselves.
Yeah.
So if one's just not on, they're not on.
Yeah.
So they're also not getting easy shots.
Yeah.
And I do think that's a coaching thing.
Yeah, I can understand that. But, and again, it's just like, they're not getting easy shots, but it's also like, with the way that Paolo plays, with the way, he's not a black hole, but he's a speed bump.
Yeah, he needs the ball.
He needs the ball, but he operates too slowly. I think it's partially that he's too slow of a decision maker once he has the ball.
But he's a good decision maker, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you make a good decision, but you make it late,
But you make a what?
it doesn't matter quite as much. Because that's the thing
I
is that,
can
like,
see that. I want to
because
see how the season ends
yeah,
before I make a final decision on Paolo or Franz.
right now Franz is in the lead for me. It's so funny. I feel like every NBA fan is kind of a little bit just like, this is the season where it's like we're deciding.
Yeah, because it seems like every team has a chance.
Yeah. And like theoretically, Paolo and
Like, has
Franz
a way
should be
to
like
get a
dominating
chance.
the East right now.
Say that one more time.
I said theoretically, Paolo and Franz should be dominating the East right now in terms of just a
But
pure
they're being held
talent
back.
perspective. But they're being held back by roster construction, some aspects of coaching, but also just their own kind of flaws. Because Franz also wasn't shooting well from three for the past couple of years, which didn't help. But
Yeah,
all right, man.
I agree with you.
All right, I gotta get going. Gotta get to work, unfortunately. But we're at 1:18.
What time are you clock in?
I was supposed to clock in at 3, but I'm gonna be there a little late because it's fine. I'm in
You
the
sure?
corner. I'm in the draft bar in the corner of the bar that gets the least amount of service today, and it's a
Okay.
mid shift, so I'm like there from like 3 to 10. So it's like I'm mostly there to try and catch some of the rush, and then some people that are like still there. But I also was there till late last night, and then there late last night the night before, and then also that same night I had also worked an opening shift, so I'm a little tired.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I got you.
all right, thank you guys for tuning in to anybody that tunes in, who actually sees
Yeah.
this one.
Thank
This
you
will be
for
the
picking
official
our
actual
pod.
pilot because we remembered to actually test the audio first. So
Hopefully.
hopefully, all right,
Final words until it's fully posted.
yeah. All right, Seth, you wanna or sorry, Morgan, you wanna slogan us out of here?
How do we want to do this? Make me a beat, please. Is there a beat going?
Oh, I was doing that on my desk. Yeah, I'm not gonna beatbox. I'm way too congested to beatbox for you, dude.
I thought that was the joke.
Nah, no. I'm not beatboxing for you, man. I am with my nose like this. I'll just start
I think we can
coughing.
end on that.
I'll just start coughing. Yeah, we can end it on that.
Yeah, I'll be like, give me a beat, and then it's just 5 seconds of silence.
I was just waiting for you to do the whole like, you can pick your friends thing.
Yeah, you can pick your friends. You can pick your nose. Please. Please. Don't pick your friend's nose.
All right, y'all.
But thank you for picking this pod.
Absolutely.